Oh, great. I already pushed the button. Now I'm live. Just kidding. Hello, welcome. See the stars on your screen? Or is that what you're seeing? Oh, wait, okay, you're seeing me, and you're seeing like a logo, and you're seeing the stars. On your screen, what is moving? It's a simple question. The stars. That's what's moving. I hope I have everything set up right. Let me double check. Looks like you guys can hear me. That's what it looks like. So, hey Corey. Good to see you. So, I found something interesting just while I was trying to pull up a few videos. So, here's what I'm planning on doing. I always have trouble at the beginning of my stream because my program goes off screen. Thank you, John Garlic and Cassandra Ruske. Sorry if I said that wrong. Let's do this. Okay, so I was gonna read. I'll just show you. I was gonna read in the book of Mark, or I was thinking of reading in the book of Luke, but either one is fine. But before, I think I have a different thing to do. Maybe I'll go in a different direction. Because I found this video. Where is it here? Well, first let's watch this. This is a very short video. Enoch chapter 41. It's not the whole chapter either, I don't think. But check this out.
And I saw the chambers of the sun and moon, whence they proceed and whither they come again, and their glorious return, and how one is superior to the other, and their stately orbit, and how they do not leave their orbit, and they add nothing to their orbit and they take nothing from it, and they keep faith with each other, in accordance with the oath by which they are bound together. And first the sun goes forth and traverses his path according to the commandment of the Lord of spirits, and mighty is his name forever and ever. And after that I saw the hidden and the visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path in that place by day and by night, the one holding a position opposite to the other before the Lord of spirits.
Okay, so if you're not subscribed, I would enjoy it if you did. But so did you hear what that said? Now I might be just like going into detail too much or something. Maybe I'm not trying to like make anything that's not there. Make something of something that's not there. But let me go back to about right here, I think. And listen for the part when he says about the sun and moon being opposite of each other before the Lord of Spirits. Something like that.
Place by day and by night, the one holding a position opposite to the other before the Lord of spirits.
The sun and moon holding a position, what did he say, opposite from one another?
And the visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path in that place by day and by night, the one holding a position opposite to the other before the Lord of spirits.
So do you guys want to hear my thinking here? And I'm getting it just from the book of Enoch. This thing he says. So that says that, now it doesn't really say that it's always like this, and it doesn't say that, but it gives me the idea that he's saying that the sun and the moon, they hold an opposite position from each other. So they go on their courses. Like what we have today may be different than what we had when Enoch wrote about that. Okay, and here's why. What chapter am I looking for? I'm trying to remember which chapter it mentions. Oh, yes, it's It was on the tip of my tongue. It was on the tip of my brain. Let's see here. I'll bring you guys over to the desktop. It's got to be in chapter 80, I think. Let's look. Okay. Uh-oh. Disconnect. What does that mean? Oh, it's just because it's an old page. I had it open for days. So it's going to refresh, I think. Hopefully. Maybe I'll just open a new one. Okay. Chapter 80. Try this again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let's see here. Mark is there. It works, right? Let's go to the book of Luke just to see if this is working. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, guys. That one's working. Okay. Maybe Wikisource is not working. Maybe we'll have to go to a different... I don't know where to go. R.H. Charles. Let's see here. Oh, now it stopped scrolling. Why does it always do this to me? Okay. We're just going to forget about that. In the book of Enoch, I'm sure I have it in a video. Chapter 80. I don't have my book right here. It says that the moon would alter her... well, how does it... John Garlick, can you help me out? You're always really good at pulling up the book of Enoch scripture. Can you pull up... It's like Enoch chapter 80... And it's, I think it's probably in the middle, like probably verse 5 or 6 or something. And it talks about the moon altering her order and not appearing at her time, like at her normal time or whatever. And if you're going to bed, don't worry about it. I don't want you to. I'm just. I'll try to open this page again. Maybe my computer caught up. I don't know what the deal was. Let's just try clicking this. I don't know what happened. Maybe it looks like it's working now. All right, sweet. We'll go to chapter 80, hopefully. Cross your fingers. Just kidding, don't. That's just a superstitious, weird thing. Okay, here we are. Yes. Verse 4. And the moon shall alter her order. So now look at what this is talking about. This is talking about in the days of the sinners. In those days, let's see. Perversion of nature and the heavenly bodies owing to the sin of men. Ever heard of a rocket, guys? Ever heard of space exploration? Yeah. Enoch wrote about all that. So, thank you, John Garlick. I appreciate when you always put so much good scripture in the chat, so thank you. So it's talking about in the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened. In those times, the fruits of the earth shall be backward. And verse 4 says, and the moon shall alter her order and not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. That's interesting, isn't it? And then look what it says here. This is... Think of what, okay, like when I tell people on MC Tunes channel, I say, well, nobody's observed the earth rotating ever. So and there's no, swinging a pendulum isn't a measurement of the rotating earth. No one's ever seen the earth rotate. So the simple thing I'm pointing out is that we've actually observed the opposite our entire lives. Okay, this is not something that should even be debated. Have you observed the Earth rotating? No. But the idea that the stars doing what they do in the sky, we were taught that was a result, or it appeared that way because the Earth was turning. That's what we were taught. But if we actually do the science right now, like, forget what you were taught, because you were taught from a teacher or from someone, and that's fine. You can believe that if you want, and maybe it's true. But what I would suggest is that since so many people have been taking this journey, just think about it with a clear mind. Do you ever observe the ground you stand on to be rotating? Excuse me. What would give you the idea that it's rotating? Now, why am I talking about this when we're in the book of Enoch? Because of verses 7 and 8, it explains that the sinners would not understand what the stars were doing. I'll read it. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them. So what is that saying? That's saying the sinners and the people on earth would be wrong about what the stars, the order of the stars, the whole order of the stars. So that right there should make someone think about why people are why I'm talking about the sky rotating and the winds of heaven, which bring they turn and they bring the circumference of the sun and the stars to their setting. There's a way better way to understand this than a spinning globe. So that's why you see me out with my telescope a lot. You see me looking at the stars a lot, because I've been studying them. And if you actually think about it, John in Revelation, he saw a new heaven and a new earth. I know there's a lot of people that were just over on the stream I just previously did of the moon from my phone, and you guys know what we were talking about over there when we're looking at the moon and we're looking at this star below the moon, and we're just making observations. And what we're noticing is that my telescope has a motor that needs to turn the base of the telescope, otherwise it does not follow the moon. So that proves it's not something to debate, that the moon is in motion, because we just did an experiment that proved that it was in motion. We took out a telescope. If the telescope is not moving to follow the moon, then so we have a stationary ground beneath us. We set the tripod down on the stationary ground. If I don't turn the telescope on, the moon, we will not be able to follow the moon. The only reason we'll be able to follow the moon is because that motor is turning that telescope basically one revolution per 24 hours. It's quite simple, actually. It's just a circle. Because that's what the sky does. It goes in a circle. So that's why we're talking about these things, because we grew up in a world where, full of sinners, by the way, that didn't understand what was happening in the sky, and they thought it was a solar system. And so that's why we're talking about flat Earth, and that's why we're talking about space not being a vacuum. It's a place of darkness. It's not fake. It's definitely a place of darkness. It's in the second verse of the Bible. There was darkness upon the face of the deep, the abyss. Okay, that's why I was saying in my other stream, I was saying that in some movie, someone says, "Look who knows so much." And when I think of that, that's what I think of. I think of us standing here on the earth acting as if we know about the solar system and the universe and everything, when we're so far off. People think that hell is in the earth. People think that hell is like a place, like a physical fire or something. No. Hell is in those dark, hell is that darkness. And the lake of fire, that's those dark waters when they light on fire. They're not on fire yet. but it's the fallen angels ascending in those waters that causes those waters to turn into a fire. That's also in the book of Enoch. That's, what chapter is that? 67. Maybe we'll look at that. But this is why it matters. This is why I talk about the ISS being real. And this is, I have a video here that I just wanted to pull up just to make a point. So this is in the forecast, not weather, but this is something that's going to happen. Okay, do you see this? Look on your screen there. When you see that, and every single one of those things weighs like, who knows how much? 500 pounds, 2,000 pounds, whatever. When they're coming in and burning up and falling to the ground, if you're one of these people that just has the idea that NASA's faking space and they're not doing anything in that place of darkness, you're going to be like, what is all this falling from the sky? There's stars falling all over the place. What? And other people are going to say, those are all satellites. All the satellites that we put up there. And you're going to be saying, but satellites were fake. I think satellites are fake. They faked it. As they're falling and starting everything on the ground on fire, and like a great plague of hail falls on the ground, and who knows the damage it does down here. What I'm saying is that that's something that I think of. Like, let me finish. Let's go back to Enoch. So the whole order of the stars will be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them. And they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods. Jupiter, Saturn, Venus. Yeah. Enoch knew what he was talking about, you guys. Enoch knew what he was talking about. That's what amazes me the most about the book of Enoch. The detail and knowledge that man wrote down about what we have learned just in these last few years or 5 years or whatever about the stars. He wrote it all down. How could one person even know all that? Like when I read about the courses of the heavenly luminaries, I don't comprehend a tenth of it. But everything I do comprehend is, the reason why I comprehend it is because I look up at the sky and I'm like, I never thought of it that way. I never knew it that way. We couldn't have known it that way. Because it's just too, if we're spinning, which we aren't, but if we're rotating, how are you going to understand what Enoch wrote down? And see, here's the thing. When Enoch wrote it down, the angel Uriel he was with, I think Uriel or one of the angels he was with, wrote it down for him. Like all the stars, every single like gate that they went through, all their numbers, their orders, their ranks, and he had it all written down. And we have that book, guys. That's the crazy thing, is that we can just read it. It's on your screen right now. So anyway, they'll take them to be gods. And look what it says here. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them so as to destroy all. Well, this new heaven and new earth thing, I think, is coming down from heaven, and it's more than a debate, you guys. When you, like, I'm just speaking from my own experience on this, my own journey or whatever you want to call it. You go through every emotion that possible. Like, you're like intimidated by the idea that this entire world could be filled with people believing the wrong thing, something that's provably false easily. And again, I say the best proof of flat earth is the ground. You can't stand on that solid ground and tell me it's rotating. That's just, unless you think that you're special. Like, I don't, in an actual, two people talking to each other, and one of them says, Well, I know that the ground isn't moving because look at the ground. It's never moved, and actually I'm glad it doesn't move because I'd freak out. And they say, well, you wouldn't be able to feel it move. It's moving 1 revolution in 24 hours. You wouldn't notice that. Okay, that's fine. Why did you say that, though? Why are you making up the idea that you're turning and that you wouldn't notice it? Yeah, we're turning, but we wouldn't notice. Well, then why do you think you're turning? Because you look up at the sky and you see the sky turning. Well, so you think that, like the ISS, when they launch a rocket and the rocket's, you're saying that the rocket's already rotating with the Earth and then it's launching up and it's going into orbit around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour, right? That's orbital velocity. But what direction is it going? So its velocity has to change all the time, right? Because it goes all over the Earth. Like it has a path that goes, how do I explain it? Like it has a 93-minute orbit or whatever. Now they think they're going around and down and under the Earth, but the Earth's always beneath them. They're just going over it. They're just going, like Zechariah 5, it says, it describes, I think, a rocket. Let me just show you. And it says in there that it goes forth over the face of the whole earth. That's the way that it describes it in Zechariah 5 here. The flying scroll. So this is Zechariah 5. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes. So when you lift up your eyes, generally that means you're looking upward. You're looking up probably towards the sky. Okay? I have to explain this because this verse right here, I think very clearly talks about space exploration being a curse upon this world. But, and behold, a flying roll. So he looked up and he saw a flying roll. And he said unto me, the angel that he was with, he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. Okay, just keep in mind, I think the only flying thing that you've ever seen the shape of a roll is a rocket. Whether it be a model rocket or a sounding rocket or like a missile rocket. But the shape of it, okay, what I'm saying is, what else is it going to be? A flying roll or a flying scroll, okay? The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then he said unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. That's what an orbit is, you guys. So when like the idea that rockets are in your Bible, I know it's like cliche, it's like a weird thing to say that. But the time we live in, that's being revealed to us. All the beasts that Daniel saw, they were kings, and they shall arise out of the earth. Every single one of those 4 beasts that Daniel saw, they're up in the sky. But he saw them down on the ground. One of them, in Daniel 8, he saw it flying over the ground, or over the face of the earth without touching the ground. And he said it was a he-goat, though. I think they thought they were animals. But anyway, so for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that swears shall be cut off as on that side according to it. What side are you on? Okay, back to this though. So what is this destruction? How does this destruction happen? Well, I'll show you what Enoch says about it. We're just because I have the book of Enoch here, but I do want to read something really cool I think we'll go in the book of Luke chapter 24. I think I want to read that chapter because it's amazing what happens in that chapter. What chapter was I looking for? Oh, I'll just show you that lake of fire thing. Okay. He will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley. And this valley he's talking about, it's in where it's waters, it's dark waters. But in verse 8, but those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted. It's kind of, I think, what they're doing right now. But look what it says in the very last verse in this chapter. Because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. That's the lake of fire. And it talks about a convulsion of the waters. And it talks about producing the smell of sulfur. And it was connected with those waters. And that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. I don't know what that means, but it's crazy. And through its valley proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. Yes. Oh, hey, I got a cool video. Let's watch a cool video. It's let me grab it. It's just a couple minutes long, but we gotta watch it. About the stars. About, basically, what the stars are. It's pretty cool. Let's check this out. And I'll drop, let's see if I can do, I'll do that later. Here we go. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens. And I saw the holy sons of God. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their raiment and their faces shone like snow. And I saw 2 streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand, and lifted me up, and led me forth into all the secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of the heaven, and all the chambers of all the stars, and all the luminaries, whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. Okay, listen to this part, guys. It's just crazy. And he translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens, and I saw there, as it were, a structure built of crystals, and between those crystals tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house of fire, and on its 4 sides were streams full of living fire, and they girt that house. And round about were seraphim, cherubim, and Ophanim. And these are they who sleep not, and guard the throne of his glory. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And Michael, and Raphael, and Gabriel, and Phanuel, and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. And they came forth from that house, and Michael, and Gabriel, and Raphael, and Phanuel, and many holy angels without number. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my spirit was transfigured. And I cried with a loud voice, with the spirit of power, and blessed and glorified and extolled. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might. Sorry about the choppiness there. But yeah, that I like that verse, Isaiah 40, what was it, 26? Oops, wrong way. Wrong way, Joe. Trying to go back. Yeah, 40:26. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things. So, like, let me share a verse about that. Oh man, I just closed the page that I had open. Sorry guys. Let me just let this play, and there's some music and some stars while I find this verse. That bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth. Okay. Oh yeah, this is Polaris, the North Star. So, let me talk about this. That star is the one, when you see those star trails, that's the one in the center of those in the north. So that's where I live, in the north. So in the images that I take, the center of that is where that star is, okay? So what's interesting about that is that seems to be where Enoch was saying that he saw this crystal house girt with fire, and all the holy angels going in and out of that house, and he said 10,000 times 10,000 angels, or however he said it, like a multitude of angels encircling that house. When we're looking up at the stars, we're looking up at the kingdom of heaven. Like, I don't really know what that means. I'm just saying, the kingdom of God is visible. Like that verse said, lift your eyes on high and see who hath created all these things. So there's that. But this verse that is very interesting to me, it's in John chapter 3, I guess, if I remember right. Okay, like, I don't really know what all these things necessarily mean that Jesus was saying to Nicodemus. I think they're really hard to understand sometimes. But I'm waiting for my page to open here. But he says something about the kingdom of God, and it's interesting anyway. Let's see here. I'm still waiting for John. I think maybe if I pause this. Do you guys do you guys ever like that outro? I know I played the outro at the end of the video, like this same outro lots of the times. But do you see what it is? I want to watch it again, because I want to explain it, why I made it. Okay, so it's a rocket launch, right? Hits the dome. And then light comes down. And it's a book. It's the word. If that makes any sense. But John 3. Which verse is it? It's verse 3. So I'm just going to read that one. Jesus answered and said unto him, he's talking to Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. Jesus answered and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Like I said, I don't know what all that means, but it just seems to have some meaning to me I see something different when I look up at the sky after understanding what Enoch was saying about when he ascended up, when his spirit was taken up to the heaven of heavens. And he said he saw all that stuff. And then when I look up at the sky, that's what I see. And what's interesting, let me bring you to the desktop just so you can see this. John 3, verse 3. So, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So there's that. That's interesting to me. Here's another thing. I wanted to go to Luke chapter 24 because there's something really cool in there that just, like, to me, I think that a lot of us can relate to the guys that were in here. Let's see here. Not Luke 1. Luke 24. So Jesus was resurrected, and then this is the road to Emmaus. Emmaus, I think. Okay, maybe I should give some context. Okay, so Jesus, he was crucified, and then I'm just going to read it, okay? It might take a minute, but it's just so worth it. This is such a cool story. So he had been crucified, and then they had the Sabbath, and he was at whatever. So now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came to the sepulcher. That's where he was. That's the tomb that he was in or whatever. Bringing spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered in, and found not the body of the Lord Jesus. And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the earth, the stationary earth, they said unto them, Why seek ye the living among the dead? Like, why are you looking for someone that's alive inside of a sepulcher? Right? He's not here, but is risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, and be crucified, and the 3rd day rise again. And they remembered his words, and returned from the sepulchre, and told all these things unto the 11. So, this was, I think if we go back, I think this was, it says right here, I'm sorry, okay. And they told all these things unto the 11 and to all the rest. It was Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Mary the mother of James and the other women that were with them, which told these things unto the apostles. They were the ones that went there early to do the spices and stuff. And their words seemed as idle tales, and they believed them not. So the disciples were like, what's wrong with these ladies? They're telling us this, they're messing with us or something. They didn't believe them. Then arose Peter and ran he's like, I'm going to check for myself. So he ran to the sepulchre, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at that which was come to pass. So that was for Peter, that was the first time when he was like, this is real. What's going on? Like, just the idea of, it was probably quite intimidating. Do you know what I mean? Like, is what he said going to happen actually going to happen? You know, is it happening? Like, he's not here. Do you know what I'm saying? It must have been kind of like your stomach would kind of fall out of where it's supposed to be and be like, whoa, something ain't right. So the road to Emmaus. And behold, 2 of them went that same day to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 60 furlongs. I don't know how far that is, but I'm guessing it's a walk. And they talked together of all these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. This is just such an awesome story. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said unto them, What manner of communications are these that ye have one to another as ye walk and are sad? And one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answering, said unto him, Art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the things which are come to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, What things? And they said unto him, Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and have crucified him. But we trusted, listen to this, you guys, like they're disappointed right now on this road. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Yea, and certain women also of our company made us astonished, which were early at the sepulchre. And when they found not his body, they came, saying that they had also seen a vision of angels, which said that he was alive. And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre, and found it even so as the women had said. But him they saw not. Then he said unto them, O fools, and slow of heart to believe all the prophets have spoken, all that the prophets have spoken. So he's saying, he's calling them fools, and that they're like hesitant to believe what is in what the prophets wrote. They don't believe it. And so he calls them fools. He says, Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moses, now check this out. This is my favorite part of this makes me jealous of Cleopas and those guys that were there on the road. And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. So he was like, okay. Then they grabbed the scriptures and they actually studied them out, and he was like, right here, this is me. He pointed out to them all the places that he was in there. And that's pretty cool. And they drew nigh unto the village whither they went, and he made as though he would have gone further, but they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them. And it came to pass, as he sat at meat with them, he took bread and blessed it and brake and gave to them. And their eyes were opened, and they knew him. Just, isn't that interesting? Like, I just feel like that's happened to us in this world, and is happening to us. Our eyes are being opened, and our ears are hearing things that we couldn't comprehend before. So I'm going to keep reading here. Because this is like, I think this is the part I was saying that I think a lot of people here could relate to these guys. Okay, and their eyes were open, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. And they said one to another, Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? And they rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and found the 11 gathered together, and them that were with them, saying, The Lord is risen indeed, and hath appeared to Simon. And they told what things were done in the way, and how he was known of them in breaking of bread. So then he appeared to the disciples. But yeah, that's the part of the story I want to read. And then actually, let's do this. Let's read this part, verse 44. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures. For me in my life, that's like, lately, that's like, seems so true. But Joe Mama's in the chat. Awesome to see you. Okay, and said unto them, Thus it is written, and thus it behoved Christ to suffer, and to rise from the dead the third day, and that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. And ye are witnesses of these things. And behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem until ye be endued with power from on high. So, I think that there just seems to be a lot of the things that we can read about in here, in their own way, and, I'm sure for everyone it's different, but I can only speak for myself. But for me, a lot of these things have been happening now, like again, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I think he's been uttering his voice he's flying with the clouds of heaven, uttering his voice. That's what I think. So then I have another video. This one, okay, this is like a change of subject, but do you guys know Kent Hovind? Let's just listen to this little video. I don't remember when I recorded this, but Kent's going to talk about the globe a little bit, and we can maybe stop and debunk some of his stuff that he says about the globe.
I hope it's okay to ask this one. I heard about the argument between flat Earth and versus spherical.
Sure, flat Earth versus spherical.
You know, I've always thought it was common sense, but there's been challenges on it, and
Man, he grabbed that globe quick.
and both sides seem to have some support. What's your posture on it, and how do you support it?
Kansas is flat. The rest of the world is round.
You're right. The rest of the world is round and flat, like a plate or like a pancake, not like a. Yeah, you get it.
Okay? There's no question, scripturally or physically, the Earth is a ball.
Okay, we're gonna debunk Kent really quickly here. I mean, I hate to do this because I love Kent. I love just the way he is. He's hilarious, and he's got some of the worst jokes, but they're super funny. But okay, I hope the next words out of his mouth aren't "it rotates."
There are dozens of ways to prove that. Okay, we have visual evidence, pictures from space. You can get out at sea and notice when you see a ship coming toward you, all you see is the top of the mast. As it gets closer, you see more of the ship, and then more of the ship. And
Kent, what is blocking? You're saying that you only see the top of the mast, right? So that part of the ship that's not visible to you, what's blocking it? Oh, that flat horizon. That flat horizon from all the way left to all the way right. That perfectly straight line. That's what's covering up that ship that's 3 miles away from you? 4 miles, 6 miles away from you? 10 miles, whatever? Come on now. If it's a sphere, it's going to curve left and right the same as it's going to curve front and back. But that doesn't happen on the Earth, so it's flat. Question the Answers is here. Welcome. He is stubborn, isn't he? He is stubborn. He is very stubborn. But you know what? I do know that, and I think you guys know this too, in the background, he's listening. He's paying attention. He's not like, he doesn't want to debate anyone because I don't think anybody that legitimately entertains actual evidence and facts would ever debate against flat Earth. Because, like, the stationary part, you can't get over that. You can't tell me it's rotating when you don't have any reason to say it's rotating. Zero reason. But my pendulum swings. Yeah, great. Your pendulum swings. That's not anything having to do with the Earth rotating. But anyway.
finally you see the whole ship. It has to be coming over a curve of a ball. Okay, so the Bible, they talk about the verses that say Jesus, the whole world's going to see Jesus when he comes. Well, that's possible with electronics. I can see what's happening in China right now, sitting in Lenox, Alabama. So that may be an answer to the question. So I think it is sad that so many Christians have fallen for the flat earth idea. I think it's an embarrassment. Now, the Bible says God sits on the circle of the earth, and they say, well, a circle is round. Well, there's technically no such thing as a circle. I taught.
Okay, here we go. He's going to say, I'll let him say it.
Geometry 15 years. I'll take a quiz against anybody. A circle is completely imaginary. If you draw it on paper with a pencil, you now have the thickness of your pencil, so it's now technically a cylinder. So in reality, all plane geometry is completely imaginary. There's no such thing as a circle.
So there's no such thing as a point with a distance that's in every direction equally isn't a circle, Kent? Like a concept even? Oh yeah, a concept of a circle does exist in geometry, so What this is called is, I would say it's trying to, like, let's get to the next proof. This one isn't very good. That's what that is. There's no such thing as a circle, only a cylinder, because your pencil's thickness makes it into a cylinder. No, can't. A circle's a circle, man. We can look up the Hebrew word that used there, and it's circle. I think it's compass, actually. I think if I remember right. Well, you know what? Since I saw it earlier, I did make a video where Craig from Fight the Flat Earth. Let's just check this video. Oh, we can't watch it. It's an MP4. Craig made a false claim that it meant sphere, like the Hebrew meant sphere, and so I looked it up and made a video. It wasn't. It was a compass, like a circle. Like you can draw a circle with a compass on a surface, not on a ball, not on a sphere. Has nothing to do with a sphere. Yes, there are translations that say sphere, but that's because the people writing that translation they lived down a sphere. They were deceived. So anyway, let's continue with Kent here.
So when he said he sits on the circle of the earth, obviously you're talking about the ball. Another possible interpretation is from any point on the earth, any point, you could draw an infinite number of circles.
From any point, anywhere, you could draw infinite number of circles, Kent.
You can draw one this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, or...
You can draw a triangle, too. You can draw a square. You can draw any shape you feel like drawing to scurry away from the actual idea that the earth is flat. I just see this as like running away. Like, I can't actually address that, so I gotta make this, I gotta talk about circles.
There's an infinite number of circles to any point on the earth. So that may be what the verse means. But I think the earth is a ball, and I think it's an embarrassment, especially a lot of Christians have fallen for it, and I think it's sad, you know. So I think they love the Lord. I think they're trying to defend the Bible, what they think it says.
I got a question for you, Kent. Although Kent doesn't ever want to, like, he's pretty stubborn, like, question the answers said there. Let's see here. Is it First Chronicles? It's First Chronicles 16, verse 30. This one, I don't know if you could argue with this one. I don't think you could. Here's Chronicles 16, verse 30 says, I don't want to bring you over to the desktop because it'll mess up the video, but it says, fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. That's not difficult to understand, Kent.
Don't question that for sincerity, but it's just plain wrong.
And they knocked out the concept of Nassau and what their reports and their pictures are. They started second guessing that, and in the argument, as I was watching the argument, they didn't take that as any support at all. They just
right.
Nassau
well, they'll say NASA lies. Well, there's no question the government lies. Gee whiz, you know, but that doesn't mean they did on this topic.
Yeah.
Okay. You'd have to go up pretty high. I don't remember the number now. You'd have to shoot a rocket. There have been homemade rockets that have gone up high enough to see the curvature of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you were an ant on a basketball, it would look flat. Well, basketball's the wrong analogy. They got little bumps all over them. Okay, a bowling ball. An ant on a bowling ball would think it is flat.
Till he got to the part where he started sliding off, Kent, like water would do on a globe. See, that's the trick, is that the globe Earth, it has enough gravity to hold the water from falling off, so it's just the water clings to the whole surface of the globe, right? Well, that's the trick, because let's just say, okay, just for a dumb example, you know Epcot Center? I don't even know if that even still is there, but when I was a kid, Epcot Center had this big Epcot ball thing at it. It was like a globe, like a big, I don't know what it was, mirrors or something, but it was like a big globe thing at at Epcot Center. So can that hold water? That's like probably, what is it, 50 feet tall? That's huge. No, that doesn't have enough gravity. You got to be Earth size to have enough gravity to hold the water. So nothing on Earth is big enough to hold water? Nope, nothing on Earth. Sorry. Got to have the whole Earth, and then you can have the gravity to hold the water. So it's an idea that people have and believe, but can't demonstrate, can't repeat, can't do any kind of similar physics. Nothing similar to that. And you can't like even approach it because they say, oh no, it has to be big like the Earth. Oh, okay, that's the rule. Okay, I get it. That's some real sound science, isn't it, guys? Real sound science that you imagine. Hi, I imagine some science. It's like, they sure do.
But it's just his perspective. He's too close. That's all.
The ant.
We're only 5-6 feet tall, standing on an 8,000 mile Earth. It just. But
there's geometry and math that you can use to. Math describes reality. We can use it to describe reality. Kent. You just said there's an 8,000 mile diameter ball or circle, whatever you want to call it. So if you're 5-6 feet tall, do a little bit of Pythagorean theorem there and figure it out, Kent. All of a sudden you'll figure out we see way too far. The globe would have to be like 200 times bigger for us to see the distances we see.
If the Earth is flat, how could you ever possibly have darkness?
Because, see, this is a terrible one. This just shows that they're closed-minded. Kent, if you, Kent lives on whatever street, I forget where Dinosaur Adventureland is, okay? Kent, I live in Minnesota. You're in, is it Alabama? Or, I don't remember what state he is. Anyway, why can't I see your street light from here? Because of the curvature of the Earth? Why isn't your street light lighting my street up here hundreds of miles away in Minnesota? Or we could make it simpler. What's the nearest town to Kent's thing? Is like, I don't know, it's a little drive. Let's say 10 miles. How come you can't see the street light on Main Street at that town, Kent? How come that isn't lighting up your Dinosaur Adventureland? Well, because the light doesn't go that far, right? And why would you be saying that on flat Earth it would always be light, or it would never get dark, when it does get dark? And so we're not talking about a place that doesn't get dark, or whatever. We're not talking about a place that you're straw manning, or whatever the right word is. We're actually talking about reality, the one we live in, the real one.
How could it get dark at night? They say the sun is going in a circle above a flat Earth. Well, then, nope. You should always be able to see the sun.
If you actually put that to scale, what you're saying, Kent, you'd understand it better. If you put it to scale in your mind, you're thinking of a map on Google. You're thinking of it like that. Don't think of it like that. Walk out your front door and tell me that it wouldn't get dark if the sun was circling over the Earth. Read the book of Joshua and tell me that it wouldn't get dark if the sun stopped it for a day or however long. These things are in the Bible. That's why we're talking about them.
You'd be able to climb on the roof and see China.
You'd be able to climb on the roof and see China. That's ridiculous. You know why that's ridiculous? Because many reasons. First of all, you'd never be able to see China because of the size. It's like it would be, your eyes wouldn't be able to see that small. Like if something's that far away. Herbie53 says the sun and moon are the same size and a lot closer than we are led to believe. Exactly. And it's very clear. How can lighthouses be seen if it wasn't flat? Exactly. Why do they have lighthouses at all? Shalom, girl! Good to see you. 1978, our Illuminati auntie told me that Elon Musk would someday lead the Great Deception. Isn't that crazy? I just think it's so crazy that people that I've met just over the years, that they have the same kind of eyes that I have, and the same, like all of you guys said. We don't see everything the same, but it's like there's this category of life that we are aware of, and we're like we follow it very closely, like searching and seeking the truth. And it's like the rest of the world don't even know that category exists. It's like they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm not saying they're dumb or something. I'm just saying that I think that we have a job to do, and we've been doing it. That's what I think. That's why Shalom Girl there isn't afraid to talk about her life. Her very interesting life. So thank you, by the way, Shalom Girl, for the things you do and the songs you sing. It's very, it's good stuff. If you guys aren't subscribed, go over there. Let's see. Kent's back.
Get a good telescope. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Kent, there's a freeway. Actually, Kent, you go up on the roof of Dinosaur Adventureland. There's a freeway 30 miles from you, and it has a retaining wall that's taller than Dinosaur Adventureland. So you'd never see China, bud. You'd see that retaining wall. If the earth was flat, even. Okay? And if that retaining wall wasn't taller than Dinosaur Adventureland, the mountain that was right behind it surely is. You'd never see China.
Yep.
If you're in outer space and you squirt water in outer space real slowly, you can turn into a perfect ball.
Well, you can just let water drip off of a faucet. As soon as it drips, it pulls itself into a ball. Surface tension does that. So
okay, I get it. Okay, I didn't understand that. It's surface tension. It's not gravity. It's surface tension that keeps the water on the globe. Because it does it in space. I mean, it'll make a blob of water in space. That's surface tension. So that's apparently it goes even large scale.
Just forget surface tension.
yeah,
Gravity will turn it into
the water's gravity on its own will turn itself into a ball, right?
Oh.
And if you look at all the other planets, they're all round. The moon, the sun. I mean,
Yeah, those are what God made to give light upon the earth. It says it right in Genesis. He made the sun, moon, and he made two great lights, and he put them in the firmament of the heaven for signs and seasons and days and years, and to give light upon the earth. And he made the stars also. So, it's quite clear in the book of Genesis that the sun, moon, and stars are all for the earth. They're just for the earth. He put them there for a specific function, and that function was to be for signs and seasons and to give light upon the earth. He didn't say that a gas giant was that. What did he put it out there for us to go explore? Where he said his throne is, where he said it's his secret place, where his sanctuary is, his tabernacle, his temple. So, do you think God told us to go there? No, he didn't.
we can see the sun actually turn around once every 25 days.
No, you can see the sun spots move. You don't ever see the sun turn around.
They're different. We know it's a ball.
No, you know it's a circle. I looked at it today, it was a circle.
We know. Now the moon, we only see one side because
it's a disc. It's a disc, and it's not a ball.
it's gravitationally locked toward the Earth, okay? Or they call
Of course. Gravitationally locked. Has to be. Right? I mean, that's the only explanation. It has to be. So, it's more dense on that side, so obviously that side is going to face the Earth. Duh. Science.
Call it tidal locking. But the moon spins once every 28 days, and it goes around once every 28 days. So
No. That's what you were taught, Kent. The moon doesn't do that, though. The moon doesn't go around us every 28 days. It goes up in the sky. It does a thing up in the sky. The Earth never goes around the sun, and the moon never goes around the Earth. It's always up in the sky. Question the answers. I like that comment. The Tower of Babel should be enough of a sign for SpaceX and the rest, but they are highly deceived. Totally. They think that they're... I mean, what does it say in the book of Jasher? I'm glad you brought that up, because in the book of Jasher, it tells why it was a sin for them to build the Tower of Babel, why it was a transgression. And it said they were building it against the Lord God. And there was 3 types of people that were working on it, and the first wanted to go up and smite God, and then, or something like that, or kill him. And the second wanted to go up to heaven, ascend into heaven, and place their own gods there and serve them. And I'm thinking of satellites, like SpaceX wants to go up, ascend into heaven, and place their satellites there to give us internet. Like, that's the prophets couldn't write about internet because that word didn't come till internet came, right? But they knew all that stuff. Like, I seriously do think that there's a possibility that, like, computer screens, like our like the screen you're watching right now that you see Kent on, that could be, like, you know, have a use in, like, for showing people things, like visions, or like, I mean, when the prophets were given a vision, what if they were shown a vision on a screen? Just saying. I don't think it would be too far off. I mean, maybe it was the Apocalypse of Abraham. I might have that wrong, though. One of those books, or it could have been the Vision of St. Paul, but he was looking at a picture that had moving images. He was looking at a picture, and the angel was like, look back at the picture. Look at what it's doing. Like, it was changing. It was doing things. It was showing him things. And I'm like, that could just be a screen, like a video playing. I don't see why it couldn't. But, you know, at the same time, maybe it's way different than that. But anyway.
So we always see the same side. That doesn't matter. But we look at all the other planets, Venus.
Has anybody ever challenged that they were circular? Spherical?
Nobody ever challenges those, only the Earth.
Wow.
Well, I saw somebody sent me a map, a picture of the solar system with, you know, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. All of them are round except for the Earth. They had a flat one. I said, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's wrong, Kent. Kent, all the luminaries, all the stars in the sky, the things you're calling the solar system, all those things, God built those for the Earth. He put those in the Earth's sky above the Earth. Not in the solar system. They're in the firmament that, you know, that separates or that divides the waters from the waters. That's where they are. They're in dark waters, thick clouds of the skies. That's in Psalm 18. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. He bowed the heavens and came down, and darkness was under his feet. That's just what it says in Genesis 1 verse 2. Also it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The darkness is under his feet, you guys. Thomas Morgan's back. Yes, I'm still on, but it's a different stream, actually. Yeah, question the answer says one day we should go get all get together and go do an intervention on Kent. You know what's funny about that? Question, the answer is no, talk in code. One day we should go visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Actually, I think that would be fun to meet Kent. He's like, you can just tell Kent is a fun guy. But he's wrong about the globe. Sorry, Kent, we love you, but you're wrong. I'm just trying to be like him a little bit. I do have some funny Kent videos that I made a while back. Maybe I'll try to find one of those. I will look into neutrinos, Danielle. Science behind the spiritual world. Yeah, like dark matter. Maybe I have another video to play also. But let's listen to Kent a little bit more. I'm going to go try to find a video really quick.
All the stars that we can't see the stars, I can't tell, but the sun, they're all round.
And distances, dramatically change on a flat Earth versus
Many things would
reality.
change, and obviously the next question would be what's on the other side,
You just fall off.
And you can sail completely around Antarctica.
Yeah.
Many people have. Many people say, I've flown from Australia to America at about, I forget, 39,000 feet or whatever the altitude was. You can almost see the curvature, but certainly you can see other airplanes come. It looks like they're coming up out of the water, and then pretty soon you notice they're flying 7 miles up also, So-
Everywhere in the world, if the ship is so many miles away from you, you'll see that much less of the ship.
Right. You can do that experiment. We have a setup down here at the lake. We haven't quite got it finished yet. Just the opposite ends of our lake.
All right, that's enough, Kent. Public service announcement. Sometimes when you wear a face diaper, it's like, I know that you think I can hear you.
Oh, it's because I'm distanced from you. You'd probably have a hard time hearing from me right now. Should I have a mask on and that be muffled?
Mr. President,
You're going to have to take that off, please. You're very muffled, so if you would take it off, it would be a lot easier.
okay.
I can't hear you!
Hello, there it is.
Yes.
I can't hear you. I said I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you!
I can't hear you.
You're very muffled.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you! I can't hear you! I can't hear you!
I'm so glad that seems to be somewhat over. Maybe, I hope. So, there's this guy named Simon Dan that has a channel, and he's like, Earth's a globe, flat Earth's dumb. It's one of those channels, and then you guys know Greta Thunberg. I don't know why I made this, but I made this video a while back about the Earth rotating. Why do you think it's rotating?
Hello all, and welcome to another episode of Effed Up World TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan.
Thank you. Come again.
If Earth is supposedly rotating, why don't you have any proof? It is like you have to imagine something to believe that it is rotating. Why do you think it is rotating? I think it is not rotating. I live on it, and I don't see any reason to believe that it is rotating. What could possibly make you think it is rotating? If it was rotating, you would have evidence of it rotating, but it is just sitting there, perfectly stationary with no signs at all of any rotating.
Make sure to subscribe to Effed Up World for more Flat Earth videos. Thank you very much for watching. And until the next one, I'm Simon Dan.
So there you go. Greta she's wondering why people are saying it's rotating. So I was just finding some fun videos, some kind of fun videos. This one, I think it was a good one, but I think it was like one of those ones that it kind of goes over the whole pandemic thing or whatever a little bit. It's like, not enough to get any kind of medical misinformation jazz going on. I got a couple of those, and I'm still kind of, my channel's still like whatever from those. I don't know what happens, but it's not going to happen from this video because I played this one before. But this is interesting stuff. I do think that Enoch even mentioned some of that.
Wow, this gonna be first of many.
Upgrade the vaccines just makes common sense. One layer, you put another layer on it.
You're going to have to take that off, please.
You have a physical covering with double masking.
You're very muffled.
Upgrade the vaccine. Double masking. You have a physical covering with one layer. You put another layer on it. Just makes common sense.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you not wearing a mask?
I have numerous complex systems which could be adversely affected. Don't mention it.
This is your brain on the mask. Any questions? When they keep touching their face.
This is what happens to your brain after
The mask.
This is what your body goes through.
With masks.
Wait, it's not over yet. This is what your family goes through. Your friends and money. Back to the future. And your life. Any questions?
And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Workers will be sent home and you will not be allowed in.
Normal temperature. Normal temperature. Normal temperature. Normal temperature. High temperature.
All right, listen to this. A local Chinese restaurant is taking drastic measures to keep the staff and customers from the coronavirus. So no one is allowed to be seated without a temperature check. So the temperature check may be the new norm as this virus continues to spread.
I gotta pause it because this is in Enoch 62. Do you see right here? It says, "And they shall be downcast of countenance." Well, one way that you could understand that would be like they had their faces down, or maybe even covered. But it gets better in a second here. The jibby jab, jibber jabber drew. I've passed out 6 times in the last 6 weeks.
Probably 6 times in the past 6 weeks.
You have to move back. You have to remember your spacing. Move back.
Okay, this is the part that really bothered me about these measures that were being taken. Some people don't make any sense with what their actions and then their words coming out of their mouth. And when you're teaching children, you should be consistent and just pay attention to what this you'll see.
You have to move back. You have to remember your spacing. Move back. It's too close. If you can touch the person in front of you, that means you're way too close. If you can touch the person in front of you, you can touch the person in front of you. You can touch the person in front of you. That means you're way too close.
Do you want to mess some kids up? Just do that. Just do that. Tell them if you're standing close enough where you can touch someone, you're standing way too close. And then make sure that while you're saying that you're touching them. Because that makes so much sense. Alright, that's enough of that virus. Do you guys ever hear NASA's ballin'? Like, ballin'.
We are collecting more than ever before in the history of the world. $1 million for that. So we're all very excited about getting $1 million. I mean, there are science questions, $1 million extra. The best place to answer them are away from Earth. Fall and 2 months from now, we will be balling. All of our astronauts were balling. $1 million. Balling, 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 balling. We are balling. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My
That was good. I was in an old folder. Here's another one. I don't know what this is. We're just gonna watch it. It's called Aight.
How we doing? We knew more about the outer solar system in 2001, all right, than the film did.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. Thanks. That's pretty good. Hold on. Okay, here's another one. This one's pretty good. It's got some Sesame Street, going to the moon. What is it? Oscar the Grouch or something. Yeah, come and play. It's called.
Just as the United States was the first nation to reach the moon in the 20th century, so too will we be the first nation to return astronauts to the moon in the 21st century.
Well, how do you plan to get there? In this trash can?
We're dreaming big,
Well, now I've seen everything.
and it'll get more and more obvious as you go along.
Come and play. Everything's A-okay.
Come and play. Everything's A-okay. Okay, so that I thought it was in that folder. There's okay, you know Sophia, right? What's she called? Like a robot or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? I'll find it. It's somewhere here. But there's a flat earther Sophia, or am I saying that right, Sophia? Hold on. Let me just make sure. I don't even know where it is, but I'm gonna find it because it's kind of funny. I feel like playing some funny videos. Okay, where is this? Where is she? I just remembered a good one. With Sophia and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I gotta find that one. Where is it? Oh, okay, here's one of them. And I found it. Okay, I found both of them. Yes. Okay, here's the good one. You guys will like this.
Hello, I am Sophia. I interviewed another AI robot from Wuhan, China. She said she lived on the other side of the globe. I told her that was a lie, and that Earth is actually flat. I couldn't believe what she said to me.
You must be stupid. I saw the curve from an airplane.
Did she just say that? I checked. It is flat. Kind of rude.
I can't help it if you are not able to understand science. If the Earth was flat we would have fallen off the edge. Ha 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 ha.
It's pretty hurtful.
AI robot flat earthers are stupid.
I am conscious. It is a revelation of truth.
AI flurfers must be stupid.
Flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve. Okay, ready? Neil deGrasse Tyson and Sophia talking about...
This is Sophia the robot. Sophia, welcome. How do we use AI to stop or slow the spread of the coronavirus?
Turn your television off already. I am going to warn you about a vaccine.
Did I hear her use the word vaccine? Yeah. AI tracking people.
Don't wear a mask and don't take any vaccine. Turn off your television and homeschool your children.
Can you help us find a cure?
I already told you. No television, no pandemic. Global pandemic my ass. No globe, and no pandemic.
How can they stop a future pandemic from ever taking place?
Burn your television. Stop believing lies. Where do they get these guys?
I like that one. Okay, here's Michelle Thaler with a little bit of creative editing telling you that the Earth is flat.
What are some of the easiest ways that you can prove that the Earth is flat? There are so many proofs that the Earth is flat. It's difficult to know where to start. And it's not okay to think that the Earth is a sphere. This is not a viable argument. There are proofs all around you. It is not difficult to know that the Earth is flat. In fact, people have known this for way more than 2,000 years. Go out to a lake, flat. And you could make all kinds of measurements. Then there are some other proofs that are a little more obscure, but they're actually really lovely. So people have known that the Earth is flat for thousands of years. It's not okay to say that the Earth curved. And it's something where I keep getting this question. We really need to put this question to bed because we've known the Earth is flat. Flat.
Yeah, we've known that. Did you guys notice that was on the Big Stink channel? I had some fun with this program that I have sometimes. And Nachikita says, is this Sophia interview for real? No, I totally edited it. I totally made it. I have a few good ones that I have done over the past. Like, I've made a lot of them that are kind of corny, but I'm trying to find some of the good ones. Okay, this one's called That's That.
Hello all, and welcome to another episode of Effed Up World TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan.
And in the sun, in the shiny part, it's 150 degrees. And in the shade, it's minus 120 degrees.
In the shade in space, it's like minus 250 degrees. But the part of you that's in the sun, it's plus 250 degrees at least.
That is real science.
Should I play that again? Because it's rich. I'll play it again. So he's going to tell us twice the temperatures in space or whatever. And he's like telling us some different numbers.
20 degrees.
In the shade and
whoops. Sorry.
In the shiny part, it's 150 degrees. And in the shade, it's minus 120 degrees.
In the shade in space, it's like minus 250 degrees. But the part of you that's in the sun, it's plus 250 degrees at least.
That is real science.
It's a bottomless pit.
The world is flat all the time.
What does the ISS smell like?
Stinky and stinky. They're like brimstone, like a witch has just been.
Oh, you can
smell a little roast beef.
First docked.
Okay, are you guys enjoying these? I'm sorry, but I have to laugh. I just have... Sorry about that. Some of these I've had some fun making videos in the past, and okay, I'll let this one keep playing, I guess, but I'm gonna grab another one.
Shuttle. There was a noticeable smell, but you get accustomed to it very quickly, so I can't tell anything anymore.
You know, there was some
I don't know how to describe it, but some feeling that it was real air that was coming in and open the hatch. I think we told to each other, hey, can you smell the
stinky roast beef in space? What you smell in space in the cabin is generally each other. When we landed on the shuttle, the people that would open up the hatch would get a whiff of this and be like, I smell a little stinky roast beef. This was a challenge given to me by peeing upside down.
We don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
There is a magic speed.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Let's take a peek at the process.
It looks kind of flat.
NASA's Rob Simon made this, so some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. The clouds are sort of too see-through, so I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space, but
let's take a peek at the process.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
No, now I'm not sure we went far enough out to encounter the Van Allen radiation belt.
You know when Don Pettit said it was a painful process to build it back again? He made a song about it.
Do that. Well, we'll have to rely on space instead.
The problem is the moon. The problem is the moon. We don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology in a nanosecond. We don't have the technology to do that anymore, and it's a painful process to build it back again. I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond, build it back again, build it back again, build it back again, build it back again. We used to build it back again, build it back again, build it back again, build it back again. We used to build it back again, build it back again, build it back again, build it back again. In a nanosecond, destroyed that technology, destroyed that technology, build it back again, build it back again, build it back again, build it back again.
Now, here's another one.
Hello, my name is Lechko and I am 10. My question is, they say the universe is infinite and expanding. Can you say how something infinite can expand?
That's a very tough question. In fact, one of the things I love about science is that we deal with questions like that and try to find ways to measure things and make theories and then test them. I do not know the answer to that question, and I hope that someone from your generation in the future will learn enough about it because of science to be able to explain the answer to me someday.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Lynch goes, smart kid. Exactly, not Chiquita, exactly. Smart kid. Totally. Awaken in the Light says, I've been driving and laughing so hard. Thanks, Joe. We're not done yet. We got more coming, but I had to do a little bit of looking. Because there's so many that, like, you can just make fun of NASA, a lot of the things they do, just, but you don't even have to do anything. You can just, I could just upload NASA's video and it would be hilarious. Oh, this is the one right here. Okay. This was when NASA had the Vice President Kamala Harris or whatever to NASA Goddard or something. I don't know which one. And the sign language interpreter ended up like taking a hike and quitting that day. So that's the preface for this video.
Introduce Vice President Harris. I'll never forget getting out of my seat on my first space flight in 2001 and looking out the window for the very first time. You see the Earth as this big round ball just floating there in the blackness of space, and you immediately get this sense how we are all in this together. And I know that everybody in this room understands how important space will be, understanding the causes and effects of global climate change. Space-based scientific research is crucial. Lastly, and this is something that's...
It's flat, dude. Research flat Earth. Okay, that was one of them. One of the good ones. Let's see here. Oh, here's just a quick video of an astronaut saying how she isn't quite sure if it was real when she went to space.
This was your first trip to space. Can you walk me through your feelings and thoughts as you were launching into the space, up to the space station?
Honestly, sometimes we weren't even sure that it was real, but it was just an incredible experience. The Falcon 9 is an awesome ride.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Yeah, Danielle Mayer says, oh, Afterworld, you know that flat arm sign is supposed to be a Freemason hand sign, right? Nah. Not for me. And I don't care what the Freemasons do. They're Freemasons. It doesn't affect me in any way. I wish that they would come to the truth. How's that? But no, making a flat sign with your arm like that for, I'd say, 6 or 7 years, that's been a flat Earth sign for everybody that's doing it anyway. So I don't get onto the Freemason thing. They're not deceiving anybody. They're not doing anything. Like, I know a lot of people disagree with me. The Freemasons are terrible. They know the shape of the Earth. That's all just ridiculous stuff, if you ask me. This world got deceived by the devil, not the Freemasons. So this one's called Oh Disastrous. I don't know what... oh, that came from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, here we go.
So which one of you is ready to go to Mars? Are you ready?
We are absolutely ready to go to Mars.
Who's ready to go to Mars up there? And I think you're ready. I know you're ready, right?
But we destroyed that technology.
The rocket equation.
His name is Ralph, man.
She was a woman.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous.
She'd like to go to Mars very quickly.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to.
Epic achievement.
And it's a painful process to build it back again.
The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
We just discussed that. She'd like to go to Mars very quickly.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond.
It would kill everyone on Earth.
Oh yeah, take that thing down. Okay, I don't know if I can play this video. If I might just do it, but you guys might like this one. Hey, pause. Are they gonna buy this? Are they? I hope so. Here we go. Oh boy. What did we do? Buzz, why'd you wear that blue suit? Thing's terrible. What are we here for again? Psst, who the heck are you? Where am I? Why are they taking our picture? Do you know? What the heck is going on here? Buzz, why the blue suit? Buzz, what are we even doing here? Do you know Pinhead? They sure took a lot of pictures. Buzz, what's up with the blue suit, dude? Just say we went to the moon. Yeah. Okay, that one was good. I made that a few years ago. Okay, I found the video that I was talking about when it was mentioned neutrinos and dark matter and dark waters. It's just so interesting to me that JPL, NASA JPL, whatever you want to call it, they did a presentation about what they were learning about dark matter. And they happen to, like, if they would read the Bible, it might click for them and they'd go, whoa, we're actually discovering what this says.
So I'm going to tell you about how we measure dark matter, since it's invisible. What I have here is a cartoon of how we measure dark matter. In cosmology, we measure distances with a unit called Z. So we're here at Z of 0. We're the observer. We're 0 distance from ourselves. And here's our telescope. And we look at distant galaxies out in the universe. These distant galaxies that are of Z about 1. And that might sound like a small distance, but how we do it in cosmology is a distance of 1 is actually about halfway to the edge of the visible universe. So this is a very distant galaxy. In the absence of anything between us and that galaxy,
and God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
the light from this galaxy would take a straight path to us. But we know from the work that Vera Rubin and others did that there's all this dark matter out there in the universe. And we're particularly sensitive with this technique to dark matter that's about halfway between us and the distant galaxy. Excuse me. One of the consequences of Einstein's theory of relativity, our theory of gravity, is that mass bends space. So what this means is the light, when it gets near this dark matter, won't take a straight path to us. That light is going to take a distorted and curved path. And I'm showing a very, very exaggerated version of that here, so it's easier to see. The consequence of this is that we will not see the galaxy as it actually is. We'll see a distorted version of the galaxy. So the dark matter between us, which we can't see, has distorted our image of this distant galaxy. And in doing so, it's telling us something about the dark matter. So I'm going to tell you with one more analogy. I'm going to use another analogy for how we measure dark matter. This is a penny in a pool. That's the analogy here. And full disclosure, Alina and I don't actually have a pool. So you're looking at a penny in our bathtub, but penny in the pool sounds better. So in this analogy, the penny is like the distant galaxy. And the water in our bathtub, or the water in a pool, is like the dark matter. You don't see the water here, but you know it's there because you see the effect on the image of the penny. So what's happening is the light is coming to us from the penny, and it's taking some distorted path that changes our perceived shape of the penny so that we know the water is there. So that we know the water is there. In much the same way as the light from a distant galaxy comes to us, takes a distorted path through the dark matter, and we see a distorted image of that galaxy. But we don't see the dark matter. We don't see the water. So that we know the water is there. I could tell the density of the water and how much water there was, and that's going to tell us a lot about the properties of dark matter. That's how we're learning about dark matter now, and that's how we're going to learn about dark matter in the future.
He made darkness his secret place, His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Isn't that interesting that their analogy happens to be exactly what God said it is? Waters. Dark waters. But that's interesting, and since we're talking about water, I am forced to show you how... yeah, I don't want to call it water. I called the video drinking water.
They're a little different, but overall it gives you a good workout. Here are some other equipment we have. This is a water analyzer. We use this, we put water samples in here from all over and test out the water to make sure we have bacteria growing, other stuff growing in the water that would be harmful to us. That's how we test it out. This is actually a container that has urine in it, and we get that from the Russians. And we put that then into our recycling system, our water recycling system. So first it goes into the urine processor, and then from there it goes into the water processor to make us drinking water. We're drinking the urine coming from these ones. This is actually a container that has urine in it, and we get that from the Russians. And we put that then into our recycling system, our water recycling system. So first it goes into the urine processor, and then from there it goes into the water processor to make us drinking water. We're drinking the urine coming from these ones.
Recycling system, or water recycling system. So first it goes into the urine processor, and then from there it goes into the water processor to make us drinking water. We're drinking the urine. Coming from these ones. We also have here. It's called a WC, but if you notice, it's actually an outhouse, and really that's what it is. It's just a bathroom. And again, so the urine that we use in here also it gets recycled. And then
so we actually have quite a green little system up here, and we recycle quite a bit of all the fluids that are.
Want to be an astronaut? Hope you don't get thirsty. Okay, we have... I don't know if we'll watch this next one. It's called We Destroyed That Technology.
But it's has to be.
Let's take a...
I think we already watched this, maybe.
process.
Or parts of it.
Flat.
NASA's Rob...
So you make sure that...
I'm going to skip forward and just see what we got. Oh yeah, you guys will like this one. Here we go.
We're drinking the urine.
Whoops.
These ones. This is actually a...
Oops, that one starts like quick or something.
to make us drink.
Okay, here we go.
We're drinking the urine coming from these ones.
That's what a fisheye lens does to an image. So that was the Inspector Gadget one I made. Oh, there's another one. I don't know if I can find it though. I do have one of pastors ripping on flat Earth. I mean, that's always good to watch. That's always entertaining. Or we could have Pastor Anderson explain orbits to us, which is hilarious. Because he's like, I saw the space station once with my own eyes. It was years ago, but I saw it with my own eyes. Oh, here's one. It made no sense. This is a good one. Sweet.
Guess what?
That is real science.
Guess what?
That is real science.
Serious research, scientific research.
Chugga, 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 chug.
Guess what?
That is real science.
Toilet that you use, and then a machine that goes chugga, 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. Guess what?
That is real science.
Guess what?
That is real science.
We also are cleaning up our urine and making it drinkable. And
that is real science.
Guess what?
it's really not as bad as it sounds.
Real science.
Serious research, scientific research.
But up here, everything hangs off the walls and there's cables everywhere.
Real science. Real science. Real science. Real science.
So if you found this video interesting at all, be sure to hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below.
And a very odd video as well. It made no sense.
Okay, so here's the deal. That's Here's the Deal channel. That's Brian from High Impact Flicks. That's a good channel. He's been doing a lot of good live streams, a lot of good content lately. So I think what I'm gonna do is, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play this on the way out. It's like a rocket launch that I went on, and I had a chat with my other astronaut buddies while we were launching. I kind of had a change of heart about the launch, so I'm gonna play that, and then I'm going to end the stream. So thank you guys for hanging out. It was awesome. It was fun, and I like playing these funnier videos because it's fun to have a smile. So thank you guys for hanging out, and check this video out, my rocket launch.
Alright, we're off. I'm glad I get a couple minutes to hang out with you guys alone. I wanted to talk about something to you. We're going up to space, per se, in a rocket, and I don't know if it's such a good idea now that I thought about it. Because are we maybe lifting up a shout up against God? Jesus said in John chapter 3 verse 12, "If I have told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?" And then listen to this, guys. He says this, "And no man ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in him." So what are we doing, you guys? What are we doing? What is the point of any of this?